dear learners, welcome to the Learn from Home program initiated by Supplementary Volunteer Teachers Organization. Today, in this lesson, we will learn about the topic river. Within this topic, we will discuss about the three important points. First, definition of a river. Second, river as a part of a hydrological cycle. And third, sixth power law. First of all, let's learn about the definition of a river. It is very simple and easy to understand what is river. A river is a large stream of fresh water flowing downhill within a channel to enter another river or lake or sea. Let me illustrate this definition with the help of a diagram. As you can see in this diagram, the blue color line that is irregular in shape, this particular blue irregular line indicates that it is a river. So let me further explain you all with the help of a diagram. For example, if this is a mountainous areas, in the mountainous areas, a glacial lake forms due to the melting of the ice and glaciers, as a result of which the river or water starts flowing downward from this glacial lake, and it leads to the formation of a small stream of flowing water. As it flows downward, it forms various irregular shapes and finally it merges into sea, lake or oceans. This flow of water from the source to the mouth is called a river. Among the various exogenetic processes on the earth's surface like walks of river, walks of wind, walks of glacier, walks of river also plays an important role in the shaping and reshaping of the earth's surface. It is so because river is one of the most important agents which plays an important role in the process of hydrological cycle. So now let us try to understand what river as a part of hydrological cycle. Hydrological cycle or the term hydrological is related to water. So hydrological cycle can also be called as water cycle. And hydrological cycle is a process of recycling. It is the process of recycling where water evaporates, it travels into the air, it forms clouds and it falls as rain on the ground. And again it starts, the water starts evaporating. This process where the water from the earth goes into the atmosphere and the water from the atmosphere again falls back on the ground and it again goes into the atmosphere. This cycle of water from the earth to the atmosphere and back to the earth, this process is called hydrological cycle. Let me illustrate and explain you all hydrological cycle with the help of a diagram. For example, if this is a land and if this is water, this is land and this is water. So during the daytime, in presence of the sun, The sun gives direct rays, as a result of which the land and water gets heated up. In the process of heating, the water starts evaporating from the water bodies of the earth's surface. At the same time, the green plants undergo photosynthesis in presence of the sun and evaporate water vapor in the atmosphere. In the same way, during transpiration, animals and human beings also release water vapor into the atmosphere. Water vapor is hot air and light. It has the tendency to go up into the atmosphere. As it goes upward into the atmosphere, it reaches to such a height where the hot air starts condensing due to the process of cooling. As a result of which, the droplets of water condenses and forms clouds in the atmosphere. So when this process of evaporation continuously takes place, condensation leads to the formation of clouds, and the clouds reaches to such a level when the clouds will not have the tendency to hold water. It gets oversaturated, as a result of which the clouds starts to fall water on the ground, either in the form of a rainfall or in the form of a snowfall, sleet, hail, thunderstorm, or in many ways the water falls on the ground. As a result of which, the water that was evaporated from the land and water bodies went to the atmosphere and from the atmosphere it is again coming back to the same place, and again evaporation will take place. It will form cloud and again water falls. This whole mechanism or the cycle of water from land to the atmosphere, this process is called hydrological cycle. You can even refer to the diagram over here. Cloud, rainfall, water, and this water that falls on the ground, it forms small gullies and small streams, and the small streams have the tendency to flow downward, and it joins the main river and it forms the huge river that again flows downward and finally merges into the big seas and oceans. Again evaporation takes place, and this whole cycle is actually called hydrological cycle or water cycle. Let us now learn about sixth power law. As you all know that some rivers are big, some rivers are small. Big rivers have greater velocity, greater amount of water and greater amount of materials carried, whereas smaller rivers have lesser velocity, lesser amount of water and lesser amount of materials carried. In short, it can be said that the transportation capacity of the river, that means the transportation capacity means the materials to be traveled from one place to another place. The transportation capacity of the river depends upon the velocity of the river, that means the force of the river, amount of water in the river, that means the presence of the water, how much, what volume, and amount of materials carried by the river. So these are the three factors that are responsible for the transportation capacity of the river. So now let us try to understand what is sixth power law. If the velocity of the river is doubled, the transportation capacity of the river increases by 64 times. That is 2 to the power 6 equals to 64 times. So you can see the definition. Let me explain you all the definition in easy and understandable way. Have a look at this diagram. You can see, for instance, if this is a perennial river flowing all throughout the year, the river has certain amount of transportation capacity all throughout the year, during the dry season as well as during the rest of the periods of the year. But during the rainy season, what happens is rain falls. So during a rainy season, the rain falls on the ground and the amount of water increases in the river. So when the amount of water increases in the river, the rate of transportation also increases. And this process, where the transportation of capacity of a river increases, this process is actually called sixth power law. So let me further give you an example. If you have been through Siliguri, on the way you can see river Balasan flowing through Dudia. You can see during the dry season, the amount of water will be less. That means during the winter season. And the transported material will also be less. But during the rainy season, the amount of water and the transported material in river Balasan increases. And this process, when the transportation capacity of a river increases, and this increase or this process, it's called as sixth power law. So my dear learners, today in this lesson I explain you all three important points, that is definition of a river as a part of hydrological cycle, and sixth power law. I hope you have understood well. Hope to see you all in the next class. Stay safe, stay learning. Thank you.